Haiti is a country that almost always appears in the news for the worst reasons: political crises, natural disasters, extreme poverty. But that's only part of the story. What few people know is that this small Caribbean nation also has a great past, a vibrant culture, and a people who have never bowed their heads in the face of hardship. It was here that the only victorious slave revolution of the modern era took place, a feat that changed the course of history. The beaches are paradisiacal, the food has remarkable spices, and soccer stirs people's emotions. All this, mixed with African, French, and indigenous influences, makes Haiti a unique country in the Americas. But, of course, the difficulties are enormous. Since independence, the country has faced a whirlwind of instability, corruption, and external interference. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, devastating earthquakes and cyclones joined the list of problems. Today, here at Bello Mundo, our mission is to bring you a broad panorama of this unique part of the Antilles. We'll explore the impressive past, the little-known beauties, and the challenges that make Haiti one of the most fascinating and complex places on the planet. Number 1. Location and geography. Haiti occupies the western part of the island of Hispaniola, sharing territory with the Dominican Republic. Together, these two nations form the second-largest island in the Caribbean, second only to Cuba. With just over 27,000 square kilometers, Haiti is a small country by Latin American standards. To give you an idea, it has a territory similar to the U.S. state of Massachusetts. Small on the map, but full of challenges and history, Haiti's geography is marked by mountains and river valleys. The very name Haiti comes from an indigenous term meaning land of high mountains. And that's no exaggeration. The country is the most mountainous in the Antilles, with Les Selles Peak reaching an altitude of almost 2,700 meters. The interior of Haiti is dominated by mountain ranges and isolated rural communities, where life follows its own rhythm, very different from the coastal cities. The climate is tropical and intense, with well-defined rainy periods and a hurricane season that frightens residents every year. As if these natural challenges weren't enough, Haiti is also in a highly seismic region, prone to devastating earthquakes, which we'll talk about later. However, it's not all tragedy. The Haitian coastline has approximately 1,700 kilometers of beaches, bathed by the Caribbean Sea. Some areas have white sand and crystal-clear waters, rivaling famous tourist destinations. Of course, the tourist structure is still much smaller than in the Dominican Republic, but the natural beaches have enormous potential, full of postcard-worthy landscapes. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Number 2. Postcard. Haiti is a country that rarely appears on lists of tourist destinations, but anyone who has had the chance to explore its landscapes knows that it has paradisiacal nooks and crannies that could easily rival the great Caribbean hotspots. On the north coast, Labadee stands out. The area welcomes cruise ships, attracted by the turquoise sea, calm waters, and spectacular coral reefs. Further south, beaches such as Port Salut and Île à Vache impress with their golden sands, coconut palms, and peaceful atmosphere, quite different from the chaotic image many people have of Haiti. But the country is not all about beaches. For those who like underground adventures, the Grotte Marie-Jeanne, located near the town of Port-à-Piment, is the deepest cave in the Caribbean. There are kilometers of tunnels and impressive rock formations, perfect for those who enjoy caving and exploration. If you're looking for altitude, we're talking about the land of high mountains. Haiti has incredible trails and natural viewpoints that seem straight out of a movie. Regions such as the Massif de la Haute and the Massif du Nord offer breathtaking landscapes with lush vegetation, crystal-clear rivers, and rocky slopes that stretch as far as the eye can see. History buffs will also find treasures here. The city of Cap Haitien in the north is home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Citadelle La Ferrière, an imposing fortress on top of a mountain, and the Sans Souci Palace, which was once compared to the Palace of Versailles for its grandeur in colonial times. In the capital, Port-au-Prince, the Haitian National Pantheon Museum houses historical relics, including an anchor that researchers believe may have belonged to one of Christopher Columbus's ships. On paper, Haiti could be a tourist paradise, with a spectacular coastline and a rich cultural heritage. Some areas, such as Labadie, even welcome tourists, but political and social instability prevent the country from following in the footsteps of the Dominican Republic, which has turned its beaches and resorts into a gold mine. But tourism is not the only sector affected by Haiti's challenges. In addition to the political and economic crisis, Haiti faces an obstacle that no public policy can avoid: its vulnerability. Number 3. Brief history and unique independence. Few people know, but Haiti was not only the first country in Latin America to gain independence, it was also born out of an unprecedented event: the only successful slave revolt that resulted in a sovereign state. That's right. We're talking about a nation that defeated one of the most powerful powers of the time, France, in a 12-year war. The story begins way back when Christopher Columbus arrived on the island of Hispaniola in 492. Over time, the western portion of the island came under French rule and was given the name Saint-Domingue. It was France's most profitable colony, producing sugar and coffee to supply Europe. But this profit came at a monstrous cost: the forced labor of hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans. And it wasn't just exploitation, it was torture. Historical accounts tell of brutal punishments and inhumane punishments. The colony's white minority was known for treating the enslaved with extreme cruelty. No wonder revolts were constant throughout the 18th century, until in 1791, a revolt spread for good and never stopped. The most famous name in this story, Toussaint Louverture. He wasn't just a leader, he was a brilliant military strategist. He organized an army of former slaves, took on the French, and despite being arrested and sent to die in a French prison, left the movement strong enough to keep fighting. The war lasted more than a decade, but on January 1st, 1804, Haiti declared independence. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, one of the leaders of the revolution, became the first ruler of the new nation, and, to prevent any attempt by the colonizers to return, he ordered the massacre of the white population still living in the country. It was a definitive blow. But independence came at a high price. No major power wanted to recognize Haiti. The countries that still had slavery saw it as a real danger. If a group of former slaves managed to defeat a power like France, what was to stop other colonies from trying the same? France, by the way, didn't take defeat easily and came back demanding an absurd payment to officially recognize Haitian independence. Under threat of another military attack, Haiti agreed to pay 150 million francs to the former slave owners. In today's terms, that would be equivalent to around 34 billion euros. It doesn't sound like much, but this amount represented 10 times the annual income of the Haitian government. Obviously, the country didn't have all that money. In order to pay this compensation, Haiti had to take out a loan with a French bank, which, by the way, charged very high interest rates. And so began the so-called independence debt, which sucked the country's economy dry for more than a century. 122 years of payments were made to pay off a debt imposed by those who had already exploited Haiti for centuries. Since then, Haiti has faced a succession of dictatorial governments, foreign interventions, mainly by the United States, coups d'etat, and political crises. And to make matters worse, the country has gone through several coups and revolutions, and even a civil war. None of this has facilitated its development. In other words, Haiti began its history at a disadvantage, and if it faces so many challenges today, the truth is that many of them were planted back then. Number 4. A strong population and culture. Despite everything, Haiti is a country with a strong identity. There are more than 11 million Haitians, the vast majority of whom are descendants of Africans, forcibly brought here during slavery. This heritage is not only in the people's appearance, but also in their culture, music, religion, and even in the way Haitians see the world. French may be Haiti's official language, but the truth is that the majority of the population speaks Haitian Creole, a mixture of French, Spanish, African languages, and even indigenous Taino words. And if there's one thing that marks Haiti out, it's the fact that its people have always struggled to survive. No wonder there is a huge Haitian diaspora spread around the world. France, the United States, Canada, the Dominican Republic, Brazil, Chile. In any of these countries, you'll probably find Haitian communities looking for a better life. In terms of religion, Catholicism is still predominant, but Protestantism is growing more and more. And of course, there's Haitian voodoo, one of the country's biggest cultural trademarks. Despite all the difficulties, Haitians keep their identity, culture, and history alive. And that's something that no crisis has been able to erase. Number 5. Voodoo. Since voodoo came up earlier, it's time to learn more about this religion that carries so much history and meaning. And if the first image that comes to mind is spiky dolls or horror movie spells, forget it. In Haiti, voodoo has nothing to do with these stereotypes. In fact, it is a complex religion that combines African, indigenous, and Catholic traditions while maintaining a strong sense of community. Its origins come from enslaved peoples, mainly Yu, Fon, Yoruba, and Congo, who brought their beliefs to the Caribbean. Over time, these rites blended with Catholic and indigenous Taino influences, creating a spiritual system full of symbols, dances, and rituals to seek balance, protection, and connection with the ancestors. In Haitian Vodou, the deities are called loas, each with different characteristics, preferences, and forms of manifestation. There are loas linked to war, love, healing, justice, knowledge, nature, and they all demand respect and devotion. The ceremonies are usually conducted by houngans, priests, and mambos, priestesses, who lead the rituals to the sound of hypnotic drums, ancestral chants, and intense dances. It's not uncommon to see Haitians who claim to be Catholic or Protestant and at the same time maintain voodoo practices. This syncretism is natural there. However, some more conservative Christian groups reject voodoo practices, associating them with witchcraft. But for practitioners, the religion is a cultural heritage, a pillar of identity, and a means of resistance in the face of centuries of hardship. Number 6. Gastronomy. Another attraction that can't be left out of a Haitian itinerary is the food. Anyone who has tried Haitian cuisine knows that it is full of personality, striking dishes, strong spices, and a generous touch of pepper. The staple diet includes rice, beans, corn, goat meat, chicken, pork, and seafood. But the highlight is the jumu soup. During the colonial period, this pumpkin dish with meat, vegetables, and noodles was a forbidden luxury for enslaved people. After independence, it became a symbol of freedom and tradition. To this day, on January 1st, the anniversary of the country's independence, Haitians get together to share soup with family and friends. Another curiosity. In Haiti, breakfast can include spaghetti. While in many places the day begins with bread and coffee, there it is common to find plates of well-seasoned noodles early in the morning. And there's more. Haitian peanut butter, called manba, has chili peppers and ginger, ensuring that the day doesn't start out dull. Street food is also part of everyday life. As informal commerce is the mainstay of the economy, it's common to see stalls selling fried food, rice, boiled bananas, and various snacks. At weekends, Haitians often gather in the lacus, small inner courtyards where neighbors and relatives share meals, listen to music, and socialize. Simple, but full of meaning. Number 7. Natural tragedies. You can't talk about Haiti without mentioning the natural disasters that have struck the country. The most devastating was the earthquake of 2010 of magnitude 7, which destroyed Port-au-Prince. More than 200,000 people died, and around 1.5 million were left homeless. And as if that wasn't enough, in 2021, another earthquake, even stronger, 7.2 in magnitude, hit regions such as Les Cayes. Shortly afterwards, a tropical cyclone worsened the situation. In addition, Haiti regularly suffers from hurricanes that cause floods and landslides. Each of these tragedies destroys what little infrastructure the country has. Streets and bridges disappear, hospitals and schools collapse, and the population, already in a precarious situation, becomes even more vulnerable. Another disaster came from outside, an outbreak of cholera in 2010, linked to a UN military base that failed to properly treat sewage. The disease spread rapidly, killing thousands of people and affecting hundreds of thousands more. These natural events not only kill and destroy, but also intensify misery, unemployment, and hunger, creating a cycle of crises that seems to have no end. Number 8. Politics and eternal instability. If natural disasters were a problem in themselves, Haiti's politics only make matters worse. Since independence, the country has seen more than 30 coups d'etat and has never been able to guarantee lasting stability. One of the darkest periods was that of the Duvalier dynasty. First, François Duvalier, the Papa Doc, ruled from 1957 until his death in 1971, with an iron rule based on terror. Doing the dirty work was the feared Tonton Macoutes militia, responsible for persecution, torture, and summary executions. Then his son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, known as Baby Doc, took over and kept the country under a brutal dictatorship until he was overthrown in 1986. From then on, Haiti tried to get back on its feet with elections, but the political chaos continued. In 1990, Father Jean-Bertrand Aristide won at the polls, bringing hope of change. However, in less than a year, he was overthrown by a military coup. In 1994, the United States intervened and restored Aristide to power, but instability persisted, with new conflicts and scandals. And so history repeated itself. Presidents didn't complete their terms, armed groups took control of entire regions, and the country was held hostage by political and economic interests. To try to contain the collapse, several foreign interventions were made. The largest of these was the United Nations Stabilization Mission in Haiti, MINUSTAH, led by Brazil, which lasted from 2004 to 2017. But in the end, the mission ended without leaving a concrete legacy of peace or reconstruction. In 2021, the crisis reached another level when the then-president Jovenel Moïse was assassinated in his own home. From then on, the capital became an urban war zone, dominated by rival factions, kidnappings, and daily murders. Haiti is experiencing such a power vacuum that at times there are no elections, no parliament, and no functioning government. The result? A practically complete institutional collapse. Number 9. The humanitarian crisis, the militias, and the uncertain future. And in the midst of all this chaos, Haiti is experiencing a gigantic humanitarian crisis. The absence of a strong government, precarious public security, and the rise of gangs have made daily life a nightmare for millions of Haitians. Entire urban areas are under the control of armed groups who extort traders, charge protection fees, and spread fear. Kidnappings have become so common that schools and hospitals have been closed for safety. Teachers, doctors, children, no one is safe. The police, poorly equipped and with salaries in arrears, are unable to confront these factions. As a result, the economy collapses even further. Those who can afford to leave the country do so. For those who stay, the reality is shortages, hunger, and a general feeling of abandonment. According to the UN, more than 4 million Haitians depend on humanitarian aid to eat, and half the population has no access to drinking water. The government, when it exists, is unable to maintain itself. Presidents are assassinated or deposed, elections are constantly postponed, and foreign powers continue to interfere in the country's course. There are Haitians who dream of real sovereignty, but without political stability and internal resources, rebuilding the nation seems an almost impossible challenge. And so we come to the end of our journey through Haiti. Now I want to hear from you. What impressed you the most? Tell us in the comments. And if you like to know stories that go far beyond what's in the news, you already know. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and come with us to explore every corner of our bello mundo. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next adventure. See you there.